Alrighty, so the big bald man himself has given us some UFC announcements, finally, okay? And to some, we all expected the fights that got announced. To others, we were maybe a little bit surprised that we're getting women's fights, okay? You know? I'm not going to be talking about them too much, but yeah, let's just get it out of the way. Zhang Weili versus fucking Valentina Shevchenko is going to take place sometime during the Paramount era, okay? And if you're a little out of the loop, okay, I suggest looking up some info about the Paramount stuff, because that stuff's coming up soon. UFC is basically going to be cheaper for the casual fan, but they're going to be doing a little bit less events, from my understanding. Now, with that being said, let's get into the men's talk, okay? What the boys are trying to figure out, and that is Leon Edwards taking on CP himself, Carlos Prates, okay? Goddamn, what a nickname he's got for himself on the internet, huh? This is happening in welterweight, of course. This is taking place at UFC at 3/22 August. No, that was Jeff Neal. Okay, my bad. November 15th is what I meant to say. And then we have the heater of a matchup. No one expected it, guys. Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena. And then, of course, we have a canceled fight, which I didn't see anyone really talk about. So, hey, I'll be the voice of the people, okay? Don't worry. Fear not, your boy's here, okay? Rob Font versus Raul Rosas Jr. The Crimson Chin himself, unfortunately, has already been fraud checked, and he pulled out of the fight, to my knowledge and my understanding. This fight was supposed to take place sometime. I can't remember. I think it was the upcoming event. I could be wrong, but I think it's sometime September, maybe like mid-October, something like that. Rob Font versus Raul Rosas was supposed to take place. I would have went with Rob Font personally. This guy's the fraud check king, and I picked him to fraud check everyone he's fraud checked. Oh my god, I might have a 100% win rate with this motherfucker. God damn. I picked Corey Sandhagen to beat him. I picked Davison Figueiredo to beat him. I picked him to beat Kyler Phillips. And I picked him to beat Gene Matsumoto. Let's fucking go. Anyways. Yeah, so that's breaking news. Sad news, I guess. Maybe this gets canceled. If this gets canceled, maybe I'll put it in the description. Who knows? But to my knowledge, like, this is a canceled fight. And unless that changes, the description's going to be whatever the description is. Now, with that being said, breaking down Leon Edwards versus CP. Now, Leon Edwards is, he's 34, approaching 35, okay? But, 34, a young 34, okay? Coming off a very embarrassing loss, okay? I think everyone agrees. Very embarrassing loss to Sean Brady. He got fucking dominated. I genuinely had Sean Brady up 10-8 in round 1, 2, 3. No, maybe 3 was 10-9, and then round 4, when he got finished, obviously, he got finished. But I would have given a 10-8 to Brady if there's no finish. But, based on the pace of that round. But, yeah, Leon Edwards got fucked up by a grappler, and he's been training, like, 2 anti-grapple against a lot of grapplers for a while. You had Usman twice. Nate Diaz is a grappler, I guess, but, like, most people know him for his boxing, even though he doesn't really knock out people. Colby Covington, another wrestler, but, yeah, you could argue with the Nate Diaz effect, a little bit more of a striker, I guess, but he just implements grappling a little bit more than someone like Nate Diaz. Even RDA is kind of like a grappler. Gunnar Nelson's also a fucking grappler. Bro, this guy's only fought grapplers. And then he lost to 2 grapplers back-to-back. And now, my Rocky Edwards is going against CP himself. This guy's gonna fucking kill Leon, bro. What are they doing to my boy? Carlos Prates saw someone get a fucking spinning elbow. Who was it? Who was it in the co-main? Or not co-main. It would have been featured or before the feature. Or am I thinking? No, it was Lerone who got it from Carlos Prates. I'm mistaking that. Regardless, Carlos Prates just got fucking aura, bro. Okay, listen. He lost to Ian Gary. It is what it is. I predicted it. Okay, shout out to my predictions. All right, so feel free to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. All right, need to get that YouTube video in the algorithm for the boys. Okay, but regardless of that, yeah, he did lose to Ian Gary roughly how I thought he lost to Ian Gary, but he did have a really impressive 5th round. And to be honest with you, It's kind of a good look, okay? And now I know it's like, you know, Sean O'Malley had a great 5th round against Merab, you know, a guy known for his cardio. He's gonna break Sean O'Malley in the later rounds. O'Malley actually ends up winning the later rounds, you know what I mean? But I don't think that's the case here. I think it was really good to see that, like, Carlos can actually go 5 rounds with someone in front of him, you know? And Ian Gary's not trying to take his head off. I mean, he's a fucking soy vegan cuck. But Leon Edwards isn't really going to be fucking headhunting with Carlos Prates. Like, can we be honest? The only reason why I think I started actually watching UFC fights, outside of maybe, like, YouTube channels like We Want Picks, maybe MMA Guru, although at the time, that was a different era where I kind of thought MMA Guru was like the Wings of Redemption of MMA YouTube. So I was watching his crash outs, and then I realized, oh, you know, this guy's not too bad, you know? And by not too bad, I mean, you know, racist, fat, lives in a shed, you know what I mean. But regardless, right? But that's the Guru we love, okay? As a Guru fan. Anyways, Belal Muhammad and Sean Brady whooped Leon Edwards, and the only reason why I started watching this sport was mainly because Leon Edwards he got that highlight headshot dead on Kamaru Usman, okay, on their rematch, right? And that was a sick KO. He's never gonna get that a day in his fucking life. Listen, I know Fabian Edwards got it, okay? I know his brother got it in the PF Nobody Asked, alright? He got it in LF No One Cares, okay? But he did knock out Kamaru Usman, but he's never gonna do that to another opponent later in his life. Like that was young in prime, aura, Edwards, you know, had something to prove, chip on his shoulder. Don't let him bully your son, Edwards, you know? Now it's just like, bruv, what do we do taking on Carlos fucking Prates? And I'll tell you one thing, right? As a Leon Edwards fan, I can't pick Leon Edwards in this fight. I know there's gonna be people, like, I can already see some, like, hardcore fans picking Leon Edwards. You know, I just think he's got the technique, you know? I just think he's got the capabilities to mix in the grappling. He's not. He might shoot a takedown, it gets stuffed, and Carlos Prates, even Carlos Prates getting a fucking choke, alright? The Fighting Nerds seem to be training a lot more dangerous submissions off of people trying to take them down. We've seen it with Gene Silva. Ricio Huffy hasn't really got a chance to showcase it. You know, maybe Kyle Brahalio's had some moments here and there, but I have a stark feeling that, like, Carlos Prates ain't gonna be, like, bitched around on the ground, okay? He's a Sean Woodson Gino type, and if you don't know what that means, he's got a weird body type where his torso's like a fucking block, and then his legs and arms are really, really long. They're really, really good for, like, sneaky subs, man. So, if I'm Leon, I wouldn't be shooting a takedown, and if I'm not shooting a takedown, how the fuck does he beat Carlos Prates? He's not gonna be doing more damage on the feet than is he young? Bro, a young in prime Carlos. Bro, he's cooked. It's over for my boy Edwards. Oh no, man. Ooh, I hate that, bro. Leon Edwards got away with a lot of his fights just being longer, being a little bit more rangier, being a little bit more well-rounded than his opponents. But he's just not in that era anymore. Like, he's just washed. He's not able to do it anymore, you know? Fuck, man. He's gonna get knocked out bad. And another reason why I'm gonna go with Carlos Prates. Bro has aura, but it's also like, bro, Carlos hits fucking hard. He made Ian Gary look like a soy boy cuck bitch running away for his life in round 5, okay? And I know he lost that fight. I get that, right? But like, that was short notice too, and this is like, there's so, I fucking hate this for Leon, man. Why are you taking this fight, bro? But anyways, Leon Edwards almost always gets cracked in a fight, bro. Sean Brady cracked him. Belal Muhammad cracked him. Colby didn't, but Colby can't hurt a fucking fly, okay? Even if he landed a jab on a fly, alright? He could land an overhand right on a fly and it'd still be fucking buzzing around, you know? Kamaru Usman, wobbling him, you know? Nate Diaz, like, it's cooked, it's cooked, it's cooked. But yeah, Leon almost always gets, like, caught with something. And lately, oh man, the way he strikes is so NPC. Like, if he's not preparing a shot, like a kick, when he's preparing his kicks, he has his hands down and he's waiting for you to do something. And then he'll low kick, body kick, head kick, right? But it's so obvious. When you put him on the back foot and he just like shells up like a worse Strickland, he always gets caught with the same shots. He always gets caught with an uppercut. So I think Carlos Prates is going to finish Leon Edwards. And I think Carlos Prates is going to get it done via uppercut, most likely in round 1. I'll be honest. You know, Leon is just like, what are we doing, man? Don't let him bullet. Oh, he's dead. You know, like, fuck, man. What are we doing, Leon? Ah! Like, you couldn't find fucking an Usman quadrilogy, you know? You couldn't find a fucking... The rumor was gonna be Ian Gary. Bro, Ian Gary is an approachable matchup. He's not gonna take your head off, bro. Yeah, Carlos Prates is gonna kill Leon Edwards. That's my prediction so far. Maybe it changes. I doubt it, but... yeah, Carlos Prates via anyway. Carlos Prates wants. CP will get it done. Yeah, I just think this is like on paper footage study, and if you know, you know. This is just a mismatch. Like, this is a really bad fight for Leon during a very bad time for Leon. Maybe this is a Joaquin Buckley Usman situation, but these guys are 2 years apart. They're not 10. You know, like, there's a lot of big problems I have with Leon in this fight. I just think he gets finished here. I think UFC literally was like, yo, Carlos, do you want to get rid of one of the fighters on our roster? And CP was like, might have to after I visit my baby mama in Australia. Give me the name. And they gave him Leon Edwards, and now he's gonna fucking die. But yeah, that's the matchup. Next matchup that was announced, Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena. Oh, who could have saw this one coming out? Holy shit. After Islam vacated the belt, bro, I thought he was gonna go to flyweight, you know? I thought maybe he would have challenged Khamzat Chimaev at 185. Nah, this was like set in stone. This was going to happen. Glad we got a date. I'm slight leaning JDM, and I'll tell you why. Okay? And if you don't know, like, Islam Makhachev, 155-pound champion, vacated his belt, moving up, trying to be double champion technically, and I guess just to obtain 2 belts. JDM's very young, and a lot of people aren't, like, noticing this. Bro, this guy's, like... He doesn't have, like... a shit ton of fights. You know, Islam's got a lot of fights under his belt. A lot of them are to jobbers, right? As some would call them. At the bottom of the fucking list, you know? But he's got some decent level comp on his resume. But man, the lightweights he's been fighting are like light heavyweights. How do I describe this? Like, the lightweights he's been fighting are like the free picking ones, you know? And listen, there's an argument all of them are former featherweights, okay, on the top level, right? Bobby Green, I don't think has competed at featherweight. Maybe that's me lacking ball knowledge. But Charles the Bronx, he got the belt off of, former featherweight, okay? Then he fought Volkanovski, former featherweight. Then he fought Volkanovski again on short notice, also former featherweight. I mean, that's the same person. Also current featherweight, might I add. So he didn't put on a shit ton of muscle or anything like that. Then fought Dustin Poirier, former featherweight, a washed Dustin Poirier. And listen, you know, 2-2 going into the 5th, okay, as one of the judges had it. And then he fought Renato Moicano on a day's notice. Also a former featherweight. So I just don't like his record. And I'm going to be honest, man, like, I can so see this. Okay, there's a few, like, match reasons why I'm picking JDM, slight lean JDM right now, and I was picking Islam all the way up until this fight got announced, but then when the fight got announced, I was like, bro, JDM is, like, kind of clean, though, you know what I mean? Like, JDM did make Belal Muhammad have Canelo hands, so for the JDM haters, or, like, people who don't really know JDM, they know Belal Muhammad, listen, I don't know how the fuck you know Belal Muhammad over JDM, but also... he did make Belal Muhammad look like he's got good striking. I don't think JDM is like a power puncher. I think his power is probably close to Leon Edwards, okay? I don't think he's going to be one-punching fucking Islam Makhachev. But you know what I can see happening? Islam does a lot of things where he loads up very clearly. Like when he loaded up the head kick on Volkanovski on that short notice fight. Or when he fights like... When he fights like Oliveira and he knocks him down, that was off the counter shot off of Oliveira doing something very stupid, you know? And he couldn't, like, he caught Volkanovski in the first fight a few times, but it wasn't anything clear. And if he's not finishing Volk on the feet, like an in-prime Islam not finishing Volk on the feet, we're looking at like a slightly past prime. He's about to be 34, you know? He will be 34 by the time this fight happens. That's not a prime Islam. Like, I know prime is typically anywhere from 31 to 35, roughly. I consider 31 to 33 kind of prime. Anything past that, and we're looking like a little rough. You know, that's when you start to see a little bit of, like, age take effect, you know? But I just think Islam does too many... He's good. He's good. He's not bad, okay? I've been on the Islam train for a long time. The only guy I picked to beat Islam was Dustin Poirier, and that was a 100% biased pick. I think maybe I doubled down on my Renato Moicano beats him, but that was obviously a joke. But Islam is really good. His striking is really good, but he's not like a power puncher. Like, he can rock you, but I don't think he's going to finish you, you know? And Belal landed a lot of good, clean shots. Belal's not a power puncher, but he landed like good technique, good, clean shots on JDM. And when he wasn't, right, it was on the guard. JDM's got really good guard. He's got a really good, like, stand-up guard. He played with Belal Muhammad, even though Belal Muhammad looked like he had really good hands. Bro, this is, like, a really, really good, I think, style for JDM. You know, we've seen JDM get taken down and get back up. Yes, Islam's a little bit different, but he's different at lightweight because he can hold these guys down. Because he's holding down featherweights. JDM isn't a featherweight, bro. You know? Taller than Islam. Like, oh man, I don't like that for Islam at all. JDM just turned 28, bro. He was a champion at 20. Bro, this guy's a fucking aura, bro, right now. He's got that silence, like, he's just in the room chilling in the corner, and everyone in the UFC sees him, and they're just like, yo, you see that guy over there? That guy's a fucking world champion. Everyone's like, oh shit. You know, that's the aura JDM's got right now. He's got the ability to get up. I don't think he's going to get held down as easily, like Islam's been doing to his opponents. Because Islam's been, like, aljoing it up. He'll get the back and ride the back. That's what he did to Volk, you know, in the grappling exchanges. Yeah, he finished Dustin Poirier with the Darce choke. Dustin Poirier said he could never get finished like that. Got finished like that. But that was a washed Poirier, man. And a lot of people are comparing JDM to, like, Poirier. I don't think they're the same. I kind of get what people mean. But their striking is different because JDM is, like, fast, man. Like, Poirier will charge in there like a gladiator. JDM is a fucking flexing technician, okay? Like, this guy is leagues ahead of everyone he's been striking against. And he's proven on the back foot and on the front foot. He's good. And that's what I like here, you know? Poirier's typically only good when he's on the back foot. You know, that's when he gets that counter shot, that counter hook that fucking kills people, right? Yes, he can push the pace, but typically he's more dangerous on the back foot. You know, Renato Moicano, I don't even want to, like, mention that win. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. It's just a shit win. It doesn't really... He got knocked down by Renato Moicano, therefore JDM sleeps him, you know? But no, it's just like, JDM is really fucking good everywhere. And the only guy to hold him down is another welterweight that was on fucking juice. And Rafael Buffet. What the fuck was his name? Bahafez? Basil Hafez. That's who it was. You know, Randy Brown. Like, submitting Randy Brown's a good fucking win, man. Like, these are good. That decision split is bullshit. It was a very clear JDM. I was on the Kevin Holland side during this. And I thought it was a very clear 30-27 JDM. The Gilbert Burns win was a great come from behind, and he had a broken hand. And what do we know about these fighters who, like, oh, they have a broken hand, had a rough performance, but they still came out to win? What did they end up doing? Becoming champion. We just saw that with Hamza Chimaev. Broke his hand in round 1 against fucking Kamaru Usman. Now he's champion. And this is such, like, a perfect... If JDM wins, this is the time for, like, someone to beat one of these Dagestani goats, right? In, like, an Islam Makhachev, Khabib, whatever. Like, what the fuck? Umar Nurmagomedov. Like, this is the time for them to get dethroned. Because if JDM wins, can't you just see the cope of, like, the fan base from Islam's side being like, well, he didn't have enough time to prepare. And then Ali Abdul, fucking El Sleaze, or whatever the fuck his name is, comes out and says like, yeah, you know, what can you do? Islam, you know, he was forced to take this fight too quick. You know, he mentioned he couldn't put on weight. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So it's just a rough one for the fan base. I think for the Islam fan base, I think they will be like coping if he loses and be like, he didn't have enough time. And this is the time to bring out the cope card for them, you know? Yeah, you know, when you see like a red card in another sport, bro, they got the fucking cope card whenever their fighter loses, okay? And this is when I think the cope card's gonna be used, okay? So I think JDM's gonna win. I think it's gonna be a decision based off knockdowns from counter-striking from JDM, because I have no doubt Islam's gonna push the pace. We just saw Bilal do that. And Bilal's volume, I'll be honest, Islam can't match that volume. And if he can't match that volume, and I can't trust him to finish JDM, what the fuck is he gonna do? He's not gonna outpoint JDM. Bilal barely got close to JDM's points. And then if Islam takes him down, JDM's shown he's gotten up from these actual welterweights. You know, Bilal Muhammad's a big dude. Probably bigger than Islam, but Islam's got Dagestani wrestling for some reason. Trained at birth, always taking vitamins since 5 years old. Interesting, you know, interesting stuff. But yeah, this is just this is an interesting fight. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited for the outcome. I'm an Islam fan, Islam Makhachev fan. All right, I'm kind of retarded, guys, but I'm an Islam Makhachev fan. If he does win, becomes like, you know, we can start talking about all-time GOATs or whatever, right? I don't really care too much about that conversation. For me, it's just always going to be DJ. But yeah, I just think Islam Makhachev, if he wins, yeah, I'm happy. And if JDM wins, hey, for the boys, it's an Aussie era, okay? But yeah, it's interesting fights. I'm excited we finally got a date. It's in November. We have UFC 321, which I think is October. So yeah, I'm excited for these fights. I hope you guys are too. You know, let me know your predictions. Maybe you agree with my takes. Maybe you disagree with my takes. F in the chat for the boy Rob Font. I guess W's in the chat for Rob Font. This guy already fraud checked Raul Rosas Jr. Made him piss his pants running. Jesus Christ. Alright, but yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to get these fights announced, get them through, let the people know. But yeah, if you made it to the end of the video, I want to thank you for watching. And as always, hope you have a good day.